can I say this? It's what Greta Van Fleet kind of wanted to do with their music. You know, where they use, they're definitely heavily influenced by that type of music, but they have their own original sound.
And that's the key, folks.
And that's the key.
Originality is key.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
All right, people see through fucking copycat bullshit. It's all right to be, you know, totally heavily influenced and inspired by your favorite band.
Yeah, as we've just demonstrated, it's totally cool to be in love with music and musicians and bands, but
you gotta be able to find your own spin on it. You gotta incorporate your own soul into it to make it your own. Mm-hmm. And just a little aside, now that I'm going to digress on this, you know, there's a lot of bands where their first album is pretty suspect.
It's pretty sus.
And like, it's pretty sus, if you know what I mean. Of like, all right, we know who you know, only listened to in high school. We get it. But by the second album, it's developed. Yeah, the influences are still there, but they're coming into their own with it.
It's always hard to figure out what sound you want to go for, right?
Yeah.
100%. We all have to start by emulating.
Right.
We all have to start with covers. Mm-hmm. But you use that to kind of unlock your own imagination.
Right. That's a really good way of putting it. Unlock your own imagination. And, I mean, even if you go back and listen to the first Rush album,
not that I have, but yeah.
That also sounds exactly like Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
It's so Led Zeppelin-y, but even with the first album, it's still like, all right, this is still Rush, but, I mean, guys, come on. Led Zeppelin much? Mm-hmm. Or even one of my favorite bands, Incubus, their first album is so Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
It's, you know...
Damn, now that we're on this train, I think Queen's first album has really super heavy Led Zeppelin influences.
Oh, yeah.
Too. Queen 1?
Sure, Queen 1, totally.
Yeah, damn.
So it's not
point
like...
in case, right?
Yeah.
You know.
But in Greta Van Fleet's case, they're already releasing new singles for their next album, and it sounds the exact same. Mm-hmm. And they just sound like shit live. I'm sorry, but... God, their appearance on whatever show it was, like, tune your fucking instruments.
Was it SNL? No, it was a late night show, right?
Yeah, it was a late night show.
I don't remember.
It was like the guitar was out of tune. The drum, I don't know what they were doing with the drums, but they sounded like shit. I don't know if they mic'd it like shit.
That could have been the miking issue, though. You know, drums are always finicky.
And then,
like that.
I don't know, that guy, he has such potential, the singer has such potential, but he just needs training. And people could be like, oh, well, you're full of shit, you don't know what you're talking about. I love his voice. I'm like, but it's
the longevity of it too, right?
Preference thing when it comes down to it. But what I hear is forced, like, when he's trying to get that rasp in it, it just sounds like almost throaty and gurgly a lot of the times.
Which
like,
isn't that bad for your voice. I'm not a singer, but...
It's horrible for your voice. And it just doesn't sound like he has control over it still. Mm. So it's either get your shit together or maybe just find your own style so you don't have to try and reach for Robert Plant's voice. Because, I mean, Robert Plant is Robert Plant. Mm-hmm. And you're you.
I don't want to go off this train too much, but do you think, to what extent do you also think it might be the label? The label's influence on, like... We know that this stuff sells to, like, 40-plus people. We want you to keep doing this the way it's doing it.
I'm sure that's a huge part of it.
Right.
But at the same time, I feel like it's the job of both the representatives of the band and the band themselves to realize that it might not be... working the way you want it to be working. Like, yeah, you're popular, but for all the wrong reasons.
That's true.
You're going to become the next Nickelback.
What do you think?
You're going to become the next Creed. You already are pretty much there. And you could have had a shot at not being that, But if this second album is pretty much the same as the first, which it looks like it's going to be,
I think
you're
Josh
pretty much
has a
cementing
counter argument, though.
You're pretty much
a little
cementing
devil's
your fate.
advocate for you.
No,
yeah.
not a devil's advocate.
No?
It was just a follow-up question. What do you think of their claims that they're more influenced by Aerosmith than Led Zeppelin? They've gone on interview and said that.
They also said that they were more influenced by Rush than Led Zeppelin.
Which both were influenced by Led Zeppelin.
Yeah. But, I mean, when you listen to the music,
I think
like...
the
I mean, that was like
is...
me with Tonic Freight Train when everyone was like, whoa, you guys sound like the Chili Peppers. Is that what you're going for? It's like, but I also really like this and this and this. Even though I'm also
You're a huge pepper
slut
fan.
for peppers.
Yeah. 100%. Also,
Do you think
Josh...
that's just like naivete? Because they're still, what, they're barely 20 now or something like that, right?
Really?
Yeah, they're young kids.
They're very
Oh,
young.
then they're kids. Yeah, they're definitely still trying to figure out.
Okay, Led Zeppelin were pretty much
Led
kids
Zeppelin
too.
was kids.
Well,
Yeah.
100%. But especially with probably the direction that they're getting from their representatives and stuff, I don't think it's necessarily all their fault. Like, they have to, wake up and realize they have to find their own sound, but at this point, the fact that they're famous and everything like that, I mean, to, like, a bunch of 20-year-olds, barely 20-year-olds, that's a huge influence, right? So they don't want to necessarily lose that. I don't know. I'm putting myself in their shoes, too.
It's a really different culture.
So what you're
60 years
saying
later.
It's a
is
super
that
different culture. Yeah.
they're sellouts.
Yeah. No, they are. They are. They
Yes.
are.
Okay.
And I think that...
But you don't think it's
'cause-
completely their fault and
Yes.
they shouldn't be
Right. I think that
given all the shit.
they'll wake
because-
up
Yeah.
to finding their own sound because they have the potential. As long as they can stick together. Because the problem is with bands, you start to fight, right?
Yeah. Right.
Can you stick together to actually, live long enough and find your own sound? That's another big problem.
Hey,
that
I'm
exists.
rooting for them to find their own sound and actually make something original and like fresh.
Right.
That's another thing. Is like this doesn't sound fresh because it's so much imitative of what we know, and we know what we know, and that's better. Like they're not doing it better, and that's another problem. It's like if you were actually superseding what you were being influenced by, then like okay, well. Sure.
Yeah,
maybe
because
they're
that makes your own
like,
thing, though, right?
Right. But
it
they're
goes
not.
back to originality. It goes back to
But I'm rooting for them to get there, even if they keep down this road for like third album, fourth album, and then fifth album, it's just like this masterpiece of originality. I'm not going to be like an asshole. It's like, oh, it still sucks. It's like, no, that'd be like, finally, let's go, guys, come on.
For sure.
So.
Also, side note, because Josh is all the way over there, if you want another beer, you can come ahead and grab one, because that's why I bought 2 packs instead of 1.
Thank you.
Yeah. Just wanted to make it clear.
Because this is so
This is
good.
really good.
This is...
Yo, because...
Y'all need to crack open a beer wherever you're listening to this.
You do!
Even if you're at work, on a train,
Don't crack
daycare,
open a beer at work.
I don't know the age range of our audience. But wherever
Don't
you
crack
are,
open
wherever
beer.
you are, crack open.
Because you can taste the chocolate in here, like the actual chocolate. The actual chocolate.
Chocolate! I always hated it. There we go.
There we go.
But
Beautiful. Okay.
I think,
Anyway.
now we don't ever have to talk about Greta Van Fleet again.
There we go. We need to get it out of the system.
We had to get it out of the system. First episode. It
There we go.
happened. We're sorry. We digressed. It's out there now. You can clip this. We can make it a clip. Post it. There's our views on the fleet.
On the fleet.